everybody. Welcome to 2021 Mornings with Miller. We're in a whole new year. We're super excited that you're here. As you can see, we really got our stuff together, and we have a calendar, and we've been sending out the calendar so you know when you can join and what you want to join for. So we want to thank everybody for joining us and wish everybody a happy new year, and hopefully it's everything you want it to be. And we want to thank everybody for joining us for doing the survey. So we did send out a survey to get some feedback on what works for everybody and what people are responding to, what people want to learn. We had 39 responses, which is great. So we're going to be able to follow up with people individually if it's something that you just wanted to learn on your own, or something that we can add to the schedule. So I'm going to let Robin kick it off for the first Mornings with Miller.
So, yeah, I'm
2021.
trying to figure out, it didn't ask me that question about sharing audio with the video.
Oh.
So, sorry, I'm just trying to figure that out real quick. I thought it asked the question like as soon as you go to share the video.
No, it's usually in the top left corner of when you try to share your screen.
I also feel like Teams is constantly.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Sorry about that. Okay.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, happy New Year. So you know what I mean? Like Teams is different every time I go to get on it. I'm like, what?
All right, hold on. Now I can't really, like, come on, people.
You can go back on the top.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can see my screen.
We can.
God, you would think this is my first time using Teams. Jeez. Okay. So before we get into the presentation, I just wanted to mention what our raffle prize for today is. We're going to be giving away some of these beautiful hay tea towels designed by Schulten and Bangs. So as per usual, Sam will send out an email early next week with the winner of the raffle prize. So make sure you watch the video because we still have some unclaimed prizes from last year, I think. So, and for some reason my screen looks completely different today. So let me know if you can't see my screen. I don't know what is different or why it's different today. But so today we're going to talk about what's the future of the office, which obviously is a very hot topic these days. We have a quick presentation here, and as Sam mentioned, I'm going to share a short little video. But over the past few years, as we know, our work and workplaces have become more distributed. So we have people working from home, people working from coffee shops, co-working spaces, etc. And despite that fact, a lot of organizations still think of their employees as either office workers or remote workers. But we know it's much more complex than that. We know that organizations, because of that, have prioritized densification strategies. So they try to crowd more people into less space. When we really know what's more successful is activity-based work strategies. So diversifying the workplace based on what people really need to do their best work. As we also know, these dense open offices haven't always been well received by employees, and therefore they tend to avoid working in them and work elsewhere. So our space utilization data analytics from over the past 12 years really indicates that while there have been more desks placed into these floor plans, there's actually been lower utilization of those desks. So when COVID-19 really forced most of us into quarantine, working from home sort of became an extended experiment. The experience created mixed results for workers. It really changed the opinions of many organizational leaders about the viability of working outside the office. So if you look at those numbers there, this is from the Harvard Business Review. Prior to the pandemic, only 14% of employers thought that their employees could successfully work remotely. And then as of last June, that number shot up to 42%. So this, along with the economic challenges that have come along with the crisis, it's causing leaders to revisit the purpose of their offices. The office as we once knew it is really no longer viewed as a requirement for enabling that productivity of their employees, but it certainly can be a cornerstone of a thriving culture and successful distributed work strategy. Excuse me. So for workplaces to remain purposeful, they really have to help people do their best, no matter where or when they are working. It needs to evolve from a singular space into that dynamic network of places where employees can choose to work on any given day and over the course of the week. The office will become a valued on-demand amenity that fosters those connections and interactions that we miss while working alone. I know I can say, you know, it's weird until you actually realize, you know, our team hadn't really seen each other in person until one day when we were preparing for We Care. And I know personally, I definitely miss those interactions that we used to have, you know, several times a week. I mean, we all work from home anyway, but obviously it's been very different. And then that workplace can also serve as a place that cultivates learning, preserves culture, and expresses the organization's brand. As we go forward and, you know, when things start to go back to quote unquote normal, many employees may go back to working from the office daily, but for others, that distributed work will be the norm. People will seek offices when, you know, they, excuse me, when they're seeking that socialization, they need individual focus. I know some people work much better in the office when they can do that heads down work. And then also, of course, that immersive teamwork. So distributed ways of working aren't new. I mean, we've been talking about this for years. When people are empowered to work at different times and places, but of course, they've been accelerated by this pandemic. People can certainly be productive while working from home, but offices still provide those on-demand resources for both individuals and teams. So to remain relevant, offices of the future will need to build culture and community and support that individual focus and facilitate intensive teamwork. Of course, the work from home experience is different for everyone. Some of us are home alone, some of us have full families, some of us have several things going on. So it's really different for everyone, and companies should strive to help people stay healthy and productive no matter where they are working. So I'm going to now play a short video. So this video is, it's actually a fictitious client, but it is based on sort of an amalgamation of quite a few of our clients. So can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
The Sulaco video?
And if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to use the chat and we can bring those out and talk about them.
So you can see the video playing?
It's not playing yet, but we can see.
All right,
it.
then hold on. I need to switch my screen. Sorry, because I'm watching it play.
No, it's not playing. It's just the the building.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I always forget when I share my. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna just have to switch back and forth. Hopefully now you can see it.
Yep.
There is no sound.
All right, hold on. Sorry. Again, not my first day using Teams. All right, I have to.
Alex, your video, your GIF for working from home is wonderful. Somebody's lonely.
Wait, why is it not?
Is it turned up on your screen? I mean,
what's that?
You could hear the video playing?
Yeah, hold on, I got it. Okay.
Herman Miller customers who are ready for a new era of work. Sulaco embraced a robust distributed work model which allows the staff to be fully engaged and productive from any number of locations. This includes a new headquarters building, smaller offices in the surrounding communities, and the home office. Let's start by taking a look inside their new headquarters. The first floor is designed as an indoor plaza that serves as a welcome center and co-working space. A variety of solo and group settings are available throughout, and the space is ideal for supporting both scheduled engagements and impromptu conversations. The second and third floors are divided into distinct neighborhoods that feature a variety of activity-driven settings, such as desking, open and closed group spaces, and communal gathering areas. The entire landscape is based on a highly flexible strategy that anticipates and even welcomes change. Data is continuously gathered and analyzed, which informs how the landscape may need to change to best support the organization's goals and objectives. A significant number of staff come into the office on a regular basis, while the remainder choose to work from home or one of the small community offices. Workstations have been designed to support the specific needs of staff members, including heads-down focus work. They were created using a purposeful kit of...
Sorry, hold on. It sounds like my laptop's about to blow up.
It couldn't handle all the information.
Apparently not.
parts approach that ensures each team has just the right configuration to perform at their highest levels. Two-person co-creation rooms are available to help staff with ideation. Large group spaces are provided for immersive meetings that require more participants. Building and strengthening relationships is an integral part of the culture at Sulaco, and the plaza areas on the two main office floors help facilitate these connections. Clubhouses provide high-performing teams with just the right settings and tools they need for agility-based project work, and can be quickly reconfigured to support different workflow needs. In addition to embracing a robust distributed work model and flexible planning approach to the office landscape, Sulaco has significantly increased their commitment to well-being initiatives. Considerations such as biophilia, generous circulation, and a full-service wellness center have all been adopted. The rooftop plaza is one of the most popular locations in the building. Comprised of indoor and outdoor neighborhoods, it's a great location for quiet contemplation or group discussions. Outdoor neighborhoods offer true desking and group work arrangements. This means that the same activities that are supported inside the building can happen outdoors. It's important that everyone has access to an equitable office experience. So Sulaco has ensured that both the small community offices and home offices provide the same flexibility, well-being, and comfort found at their headquarters. Those who work from home can choose from a menu of settings that best meet their needs and diverse living situations. Some may choose to replicate the settings they enjoy when visiting a community office, while others may only require a desk and task chair. From the headquarters, to the community office, to the home office, Sulaco supports the complete network of places where work happens, and Herman Miller is proud to be their trusted partner.
All right, now bear with me while I switch back to my other screen.
So a question I threw in the chat was that I wanted to ask if designers and we some dealer folk on here are looking for, if our clients are coming to us and asking for more fresh air options, like so are they utilizing their outdoor spaces? And I was just curious because of that that plaza, the outdoor plaza.
So I just have another, I think just one more slide here, and then just some images that hopefully can facilitate some conversation. But just kind of in closing, by creating offices that fulfill people's needs on demand, both organizations and their people will flourish. So distributed work will lessen the need for dense occupancy planning, so businesses can therefore save on facilities costs and create workplaces that are more valuable to their employees. And again, we've been talking about this for a while. Back when I was in my ergonomic role, I was saying to Sam last week when we were talking about this presentation, both the social ergonomic and cognitive ergonomics CEUs, discuss offering people choice, and you really want people to be able to be the most productive that they possibly can be, so they can accomplish their work. So when you give people the option to work in the place that fulfills their well-being needs and diverse work processes, they have that autonomy and security that they really need to thrive. A Gallup study published last January indicated that employees who could choose when to come into the office and work from home had higher levels of employee engagement than those who spent either most of their time in the office or most of the time working remotely. Higher engagement leads to lower absenteeism rates, fewer quality defects, and then therefore higher profitability. So I'm just going to show, these are actually clips from the video that you just saw, and they kind of go over 3 different types of spaces within the workplace. So as we go through these, just think about basically a few questions, and please feel free to chime in and comment. But how effectively do you think that your clients' spaces could support these types of interactions? What's appealing about these types of spaces? And then how might you adapt this setting for either for your office or for your clients' spaces? So whether you want to unmute and speak up or throw some notes in the chat here, obviously. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we have a comment in the chat about talking about it's Rebecca saying she can see the question coming when the weather starts improving. So talking about outdoor spaces. Mm-hmm. Right now we have clients that are trying to figure out the hybrid of work from home and work from office, and they're looking for them to help them, which I'm hoping this conversation is helping right. Rebecca. As far as the outdoor stuff goes, just thinking about lead times and ordering, it may be good to.
Oh, Sam, you just muted yourself.
I pushed the space bar. I didn't know that muted me. So if you're thinking about outdoor spaces, it may be a good prompt for your customers and your clients to think about, starting to think about it now. By the time they make selections, which we know takes some time, order and get them into their spaces, it'll be spring and they'll all be scrambling and getting pieces that you don't want them to have.
Right. And we're going to review some outdoor solutions in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, I think, on our mornings with Miller.
Gail said that the California clients are starting to put more effort into their outdoor spaces because they have year-round access.
Yeah.
Sunny and 70.
Yeah. And then just moving on to some heads down focus type areas as well. And it's interesting. I feel like before the pandemic, I know Samantha and Steve and I used to kind of talk about this all the time, like where we do our best work. Sam would have to go into, well, not, I shouldn't say what, I don't want to speak for you, but I know you talked about how you would go into the co-working space because that's where you could focus, where I am the exact opposite. If I go into a space like a coffee shop, I am watching people. I am not able to focus on what I need to do, where at home, I can just I am the focus queen. I can just hammer it out and get things done.
Silence is deafening. If it's too quiet, I'm like, there's something else going on somewhere. Yeah. I need activity and movement. It makes me feel like I'm part of something.
Yeah. And believe me, I usually will have the news on in the background or music, but I can't be distracted by things in my peripheral. Because I'll be like, oh, those are cute shoes. I wonder where she got those. And let me Google that. And Yeah, I don't need that. And then just some more images, again, places where workers are able to focus. And then, of course, teamwork, which we know is really a crucial part of many of our jobs. So sorry, I'm not viewing the chat at the moment.
No, the chat right now, I asked the question, what makes you most productive? Alex Bonner said squirrel. She means distraction. Steve said that Comcast courtyard outside of Starbucks with Sam Smith, which is where he and I used to work before we had co-working. Carly says she likes the quiet. Are you guys finding you're more productive at home? Or are you finding that you're more productive in a group environment? Are you finding that you would love a mix of both for your own workplaces?
I liked those like individual chairs, like loungy type chairs for solo work in that co-working space versus like sitting at a workstation. I feel like if I was going to go sit at a workstation, I could be doing that at my home office, like, and less distracted. But I like the more alternative ways of working versus the workstation.
And sometimes, I don't know, personally, again, I just need a change of scenery. I might be at my desk for hours and then, you know, move downstairs to my desk that's in my living room, and I can, you know, completely shift things. If I'm like stuck in a rut, I just need a change of scenery and I can get motivated again. Sorry, my dog is snoring super loud.
It's funny that you say that. Sylvia said that she needs her office or fuzzy office mate for optimal productivity. John Campbell said it depends on the work being done, which I totally agree. I think I'm productive based on, I'm more productive in a certain environment based on the task, which is a little bit around that activity-based work. A lot of much more productives at home. Missing group environments, but head down productivity is much easier at home. There is a good question in here. It says, I'm curious what you miss most about work from the office. And this is because it's Rachel, and Rachel said she's 100% remote, so she'd love to know what you miss from your office the most. And John said, I think of your office like your home. Some places are for quiet, and some people are for some places are for family space, which I always say the reason your house has multiple rooms is because you don't sleep in your kitchen and you don't cook in your bedroom. And I feel like we should always think of the office the same way, is that the same activities happening in the same space all of the time is it's not set up for your optimal productivity. So I totally agree. The other one is I love the outdoor space from that video. I'd love to go work there and have the opportunity to choose to work outside. Totally agree on that. I think I'm hoping that we've been through a lot in the past year, and I feel like we're going to really be able to have a conversation of what makes us the most productive, and that choice. Before there was no choice, it was you worked in your office, and now there's going to be, I think, an opportunity, and people have been exposed to different ways of working, and I think hopefully they'll be able to take those and learn from those experiences. We have I miss the energy of the office and the ease of collaborating with teammates. I miss the services we have available at the office. I think that's a huge thing about like printing, and it's just even those like little things of just printing, having a materials library. I agree with this, Rebecca. I miss the separation of work from home, of work and home. That actual boundary is really, really like, I mean, my bed is behind me, so I sleep in the same room I work in. My house is not big, but I feel like that the commute was that good separation of that, like taking that time. And I think that's something that's for sure missed. I miss the SEPTA bus. Never in my life would I thought I would say that.
I agree with that. I never thought I would say that, but I miss it too.
Here's my little SEPTA bus. And John Campbell said, I miss the face-to-face contact and informal learning and socializing. I think that's a huge part of what we're going to see the office become, is this hub of brand and culture and face-to-face interactions with the people that you work with. I've talked to a few designers who've started working in new places right before the shutdowns, essentially. And it was definitely, they're like, I don't know who anybody is. And they're like telling jokes that like people will be on the call and they're like, call so-and-so. Do you even know who that is? Because they've never worked in the office. Carly says she doesn't miss SEPTA.
No way.
No, I will say this is what I miss about SEPTA is, when I was working in the co-working space and going into Center City for appointments, of course, if I didn't have a chair or something I had to take with me, I really got to enjoy that time where I could read or just put on my headphones, listen to my podcast, and then just walking through, what is it called? Like underground there, like when, at City Hall. I mean, it's scary sometimes, but just like people watching, like I really enjoyed that. I miss that for sure.
Yeah, there's, I miss walking to and from home. My daily steps have taken a huge hit. I miss eating lunch with coworkers. That's a big one. I also miss meandering around town at lunch for distraction and inspiration. I feel like there's a lot lacking with not being exposed to the outside world the way that we have been previously. Do you feel like a lot of what you've learned in the past year will affect how you design spaces or how you talk to your clients about space? We got no responses.
It's funny. I'm reading the chat on my phone now, and I see the one about my daily steps have taken a huge hit. I had 3,000 steps the other day. I was like, this is an all-time low.
My low is much lower than that.
Horrible.
John said, finally, choice will be taken seriously. I agree with that. I feel like there's a lot of things we talk about and we have conversations with clients around what space looks like and feels like, and they say yes, 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 and then they're like, we still need a 1-to-1 ratio. Everybody has to have a 6x6 or a 6x7, and we need 40% of it to be offices. And then you're saying like there's not a lot of choice in what we're providing, and I'm hoping this really pushes people to really rethink space. And it's interesting because I feel like it's, for years we were told that work from home just wouldn't work. And I think people are starting to, we had to trust people. We had to just push people into an experience for trust. And that was something, they're like, oh, people are productive at home. They're not just like watching Days of Our Lives and not working. And it's amazing. I mean, people like what they're doing for work, and they feel productive when they're working at home. And this is a good one. Challenge the expected, inspire smart design. I think that's definitely something. A lot of the designers I've talked to about what this has spawned for them is they're talking about, this is a real opportunity for really good, productive workplaces and really creating spaces that work for people instead of spaces that people have to work in. And I'm hoping that, I'm really excited about what we'll see. We have some really good creative minds on this call, so I'm sure you're all thinking, and it's a really good inspiring moment. The office will have to become a destination as opposed to a place you have to go. I agree, Gail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting unsad thinking about all of the things I miss about the office. Yeah, I think I'm hoping this is going to be an interesting year. The interesting part will be how do we dig deeper and understand the behavioral aspect and not just the latest trend and fad. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's really about supporting humans. Yep. And thinking ultimately people are the same and they all need support for certain, human behaviors and aspects. And if we think people first and support them with things that are maybe trendy or have like a short time span, I think that that's something that, agility is something I kept hearing in that video, is how do we create space that works for people over time?
Yeah. And again, this isn't anything new. We've been talking about this for years. It's just like in our faces now, because it's just, everything's just changed so much.
Has anybody been working with clients that are really thinking about how to support their people at home? So some part of that Sulaco video, and granted, we're over time, so if you have to jump, feel free. But one of the questions I have to close is, are your clients looking at creating packages for people to work from home productively? So something like maybe a height adjustable desk and a good supportive chair, a filing cabinet, or creating packages for people, or is it that they are kind of on their own for home and the office will support them? While you guys think about that, Victoria said there's so much research about choice and access to outdoors, different types of working spaces. Everything's important to help humans work better, but we really have an opportunity to implement the things because COVID has changed everybody's perspective. The real difference will be that space is considered more of a positive asset and not a cost drain, which is totally true. We have a client right now that's trying to figure out what amenities and support to offer for work from home, and we're at the beginning stages and nothing has been resolved yet. We have a work from home program for clients so that they are able to access things directly. And if you have any questions about what we have learned from work from home, definitely reach out to Robin or myself, and we'll help you kind of talk through what we know and what we know works really well. Just things as simple as supply chain's really hard for something like that, making sure each individual gets their desk where it needs to be in their homes. And it's not just like you can go pick up a laptop and go home with it. It's setting up furniture is kind of difficult. So this has been a great conversation, guys. Good one for 2021.
Yeah, way to kick it off. Well, so since we are a little over time, everyone is welcome to stay on as long as you want, but I will just say, so for next week, we have Aaron Bishop from Framery is joining us to talk about Framery, and then the following week, we have Liz from Geiger. So we're starting to share some more information about our partners within the Herman Miller Group and our alliances. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for that as well. And I'm gonna stop presenting. So
we do have something in here that talks about how crisis accelerates trends, but doesn't completely start new ones. There's an article that Rachel had put in here. John talked about how space will be managed differently. The role of a community manager will be a new key role. I totally agree with that. I think we're going to see some of those adoptions from co-working spaces. What worked really well is having somebody who actually manages the space as a tool. This definitely is really interesting conversation, guys. Thank you so much. And if you want to continue it directly with Robin or me, we can even rope Rachel into that. Rachel's our regional and she's got lots of good ideas and thoughts.
And honestly, sorry, Sam, the other thing I wanted to say is, as you all saw, it's a pretty quick presentation. So if there are people, from your office that weren't on the call and you wanted sort of a repeat with us, either one of us would be happy to do that, at a different time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining, and we hope that you have a good rest of the week, and we will see you hopefully next week to talk about Framery, which will support some of these ideas that we're talking about with the new office. So we'll talk about some concepts, and then we'll talk about product that supports that. Have a good day, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.